Okay, so let's go ahead and get started and give you a look at the new user interface. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to mPulse now. And if you've logged into mPulse anytime in the past few months, you've probably noticed this button up here that says New UI Beta. That'll take us into the new user interface. Even though it's still only beta release, it's fully usable. You can go ahead and start to use that as your main user interface if you like, or if you just want to log in and check it out and give us some feedback, we're happy for all the feedback we can get. So let's go ahead and click on the button here. And when you click on it, it'll take you into the new user interface. It's going to start you on this page called the mPulse homepage. At the top of the mPulse homepage will just be summary information about how your site's doing, either based on an activity summary, which gives you the number of beacons you have and the page load time over time, as well as a summary of page views. Or if you want to focus on core web vitals, you can choose that as your summary at the top of the homepage, which will give you largest contentful paint, first input delay, and cumulative layout shift. Down below on the mPulse homepage will be some of the more commonly used dashboards, and what you'll see are some of the old favorites from the old user interface here as they've been ported over to the new UI. So if you want to start with seeing what the new user interface looks like in a little bit more complete dashboard, let's click on the summary dashboard, and that'll give you a sense for the new UI. First off, you'll see it's a much fresher look, I think a little bit more modern look here. When you come into it, you still have the option to pick different time periods here that you'd like to see the data for. You can add different filters by modifying custom dimensions and filters at the left-hand side here. If you want to adjust the percentile, you can go ahead and do that at any time as well. There's also the same paradigm here that we use. The dashboard is basically a collection of widgets, and a widget is just a graphical representation of the data, whether it's a line chart like we have at the top here, or a donut graph, or a summary widget, or a map graph, or table graphs, or area graphs, etc. So these are all just different views of the data. One of the nice things about the new user interface, though, is that we also have customizable widgets. You can actually pre-configure a widget, make it really easy to create dashboards by just dragging and dropping widgets into the dashboard. So that's what the homepage is. The homepage is kind of an overview with some of the more commonly used dashboards here. When you want to go in and look at all of your dashboards, though, where you want to go is currently the Data Explorer. Now this is going to be changed to be named Dashboard in Dashboards in the future, but for now it's Data Explorer. And when you click on that, what you'll see is that the main item in here is your dashboards. The dashboards list has a list of all the system dashboards that are shown in italics here, as well as down below as you start to make custom dashboards, you'll see them start to populate down here as well. So we're going to go ahead and create new dashboards and new widgets here. And we're going to start with creating a new widget now. So where's the widgets interface? If you go to the upper left hand side here, you can select if you want to see the widgets or if you want to see the dashboards. I'm going to go to the widgets UI. On each of the widgets you can see kind of an icon indicating what type of widget it is. These are table widgets, these are summary widgets, these are line graph widgets, these are map widgets, etc. And if you want to create a new widget, just click the new button and it'll give you the option to create a widget. So pick whatever graphical format you want to use. Maybe for our example here, we'll go ahead and create just a donut chart that has the different device types so you can see how it works. So I'll go ahead and click on a donut chart. Now when we click on that, it's going to take us into the widget creation dashboard. And what you have on the left-hand side here are the different types of data that we can populate our widgets with. The icons mean different things. This one here that looks like a tree, that's basically dimensions. This one that looks like a hash, that's metrics. And this one here is timers. Or if you just want a list of all the different available items, go to the all section here. Now for our widget, we wanted to create a view that's the device type. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the custom dimensions and say that we'd like to group it by the device type. I'll just pull that up here. And then we identify what we want the arc to be. And for that, we're going to go with the number of page views. So we'll go ahead and create a widget that has the number of page views here. Now we can customize the widget further if we want to adjust the color at the top or anything here. We can go ahead and select different options for formatting. I'll just leave it pretty simple and to match the existing stuff that has just a white background up here. A new feature on these widgets is that you can also now put a description, pie chart by device, and you can opt to display that description in the widget with the widget either above or below the existing content in the widget. So you can kind of add descriptions about what's going on here and choose where that description will go. So if you're focused on specific page groups or specific metrics, you can kind of do that. For now, I'm going to go ahead and leave that turned off. and we're going to save our widget. Now, when you save the widget, the title will be whatever's listed here. It's automatically named for you, but if you want to do a new name for it, we'll just go device type Pi, go ahead and do that, and hit the save button, and this will now become part of your widgets, available widgets. Now you can see we have this new widget called device type Pi. So that's it. It's pretty simple to create a widget, lots of options in the graphical format, how to add the filters, etc. for the widgets, and then you'll have a library of widgets. What you then do when you want to create a dashboard is you just kind of pull from this collection of widgets that you've created. So I'm going to go back to the dashboards tab here. I'm going to create a dashboard from scratch here. We'll just start with a new dashboard. And maybe for our example, what I'd like to do is do a dashboard that has the core web vitals, but rather than just having core web vitals across the entire site, I'd like to break it out by mobile and by desktop. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll maybe give it a name here. We'll call this core web vitals by device type. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see all the different available widgets. So I'll want a largest contentful paint widget up there. Give me a little first input delay widget. And where's our cumulative layout shift? There we go, cumulative layout shift widget. And then there's a widget as well created that's got the cumulative core web vitals by page group. So we can pull that in here. And we can make these widgets. One of the nice things about the new UI is that you can make the widgets whatever size you want. You don't really have limitations on the pre-selected layout here, so we can make it at whatever size we want. In our case, I'd like to have kind of a compact view here that has a lot of information per row, so I'm going to go ahead and put this up at the top there. And then if we want to have another row, maybe this will be my row for all the mobile core web vitals, and then I'm going to do the same thing to create another row that has all of my core web vitals for desktop systems. So we'll go ahead and just drag and drop those there and create our widgets. Now the next step I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to make this top row the mobile values and make the bottom row the desktop values. And there's kind of two different options for how I can do that. One is, just like in the old user interface, you can go into any particular widget and edit the widget and add filters to this. So if I wanted to make this a mobile only widget, I could add a filter, select that I'd like it to be for device type mobile, and hit OK. And you can see that that widget is updated to now be only mobile. So I could go ahead and do that for this one and this one and this one and have a whole bunch of these. However, in the new UI, we've got this cool new feature called sections. And what that allows us to do is basically put in a section line here, and everything below that section will inherit the filters in the section. So I'm going to remove this filter that I just created here, and we're going to do it this other way, which is, I think, a lot cleaner way for creating these filtered graphs. When you add a section, just kind of drag it in there, give it a name. We're going to call this mobile. And then you can go ahead on this section and add things like filters and timers and group by selectors. In this case, we're going to filter it to just mobile. So I'll go ahead and select mobile there. And now everything below that section is going to be mobile. And if I want to have kind of down below here, I'd like it to be desktop, I'll just add another section there. And we're going to call that one desktop and add the filter for desktop here. So real easy to go ahead and create these dashboards by drag and dropping the widgets. Real easy to create sections in the dashboard with the section here, and then add it to there, and there you have it. Now we've got a new dashboard, Core Web Vitals by device type. You can see your mobile Core Web Vitals and your desktop Core Web Vitals. You're doing, looks like, a lot better on desktop. Your largest contentful paint is 1 second on desktop versus 2 seconds on mobile. First input delay a lot better on desktop than mobile, and CLS is actually better on mobile than desktop here. Now that we've created our dashboard, just go ahead and save it. And this dashboard, CWV by device type, will now appear in our list of dashboards. So there you have it. Go ahead and try out the new UI. That's all we had for today. Give us some feedback if you'd like. We're happy to hear it, and hope you enjoy the new user interface.